about to begin. My name is Karen Goodman. I'm the president of Congregation Beth, which meets here in this lovely sanctuary of the Studio City Unitarian Church. I want to welcome all of you. Thank you for being here. I think you have a really wonderful afternoon ahead of you. And so I just want to point out one thing, because Rabbi Chaim Beliak is going to come up and speak in a second. Take a look at this picture on the cover of your program. This is a picture that comes from a little synagogue in the town of Kazimierz Dolny in Poland, which I visited 3 years ago. And that synagogue space has been turned into a museum, a gallery of pre-war photos. And this is one of the photos hanging. And you can't really see, but there's this poster. Somebody is advertising a concert. And one of the two words I could make out was, right here, it says Konzert, K-O-N-C-E-R-T. And this other word down here, which I really don't know how to pronounce, but I'll take a flyer, Tsiginski, is gypsy. Or as we are now supposed to say, Roma. Zigeuner in Yiddish, yes. So that's how rich this program is today. It starts on the cover. And so I'm going to, without further ado, there is an ado. I want to point out that some of the participants in this program are our congregation's members and do our musical, take care of our music. One of the singers, cantor Rabbi Andrew Henry, who is our cantorial soloist, who is amazing, as you will soon find out, and also Novi Novag, a fabulous violist who has been playing our Kol Nidre every year for as long as I've been coming here, and I've been coming for like 35 years. So we have a lot of tradition here in the room, let alone everything you'll hear. Okay, Rabbi Chaim Beliak.
Welcome. You're going to have, as Karen has suggested, a wonderful afternoon. An afternoon that will introduce you to some of the most interesting music by some of the recovered voices, people of Polish and Jewish background who are known to us for their musical production. More importantly than just the music itself, much of it was created in Poland, are the fact that there are two Poles here. They're part of the future of the Polish Jewish community. One of them is a rabbinic student here in Los Angeles, Dr. Menachem Mirsky. Yes, he did stop off to get his doctorate before coming to rabbinical school, and we're very happy that he's here with us now for the third year of these concerts. We've now been doing these concerts for 4 years. And also a person who's about to complete her cantoral studies, and next month we'll call her cantor. Anna Silverman is graduating from Jewish Theological Seminary in New York. We're very pleased that she's a part of our concert. We'll have opportunities to introduce more of our people, and we look forward to sharing the music, the people, and this concert comes just before Passover. And those of you who attend synagogue may be aware that yesterday was the great Shabbat, Shabbat Hagadol. And what is great and important about that Shabbat? The fact that it comes before Passover is an invitation to think of sitting down at the Seder table with a sense of mochin de gadlut. You should hear the same word, gadol. That is what we would call in California expanded consciousness. And that's the wonderful part of music. We may debate, we may have different opinions, but when we allow ourselves to be immersed in music, some of it was sung at Seder tables, some of it was sung in synagogues, some of it was borrowed from Polish bars, and some of it was borrowed from Jewish bars. There were Jews who drank in bars. We are in the presence of the culture that is still living. We're the carriers of that culture, along with the renewed Jewish community of Poland. The concert is sponsored by Congregation Beth, but it's also sponsored by a unique group. You have some of the propaganda about what we do, called Friends of Jewish Renewal in Poland. So without further ado, I'd like to invite the concert to begin. Welcome, welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Anna Katarzyna Silverman, and we are going to start. Wenn zerspielt ist heim sein Fiddle, schön herzig jüdisch Mame, auf ihm ganz erschien. Mit seinen schönen schwarzen Augen hat mir zugezogen, oi Mame, wollt mit Gott zu mir. Oh, wenn ich leb sein Heide Mädel, bin ich doch als ein Lieb und edel, und wenn Spielen kriegt mir ganz im Haar. Will sich tanzen, will ich singen, und gewaltig wird zerspringen, und ohne kenn ich mir nicht so. Oi, Mame, bin ich verliebt. Oi, Mame, bin ich verliebt. A kleiner Engel, Mame, getreue, liegt mir nur im Sinn. Ich wein und lach und weiß nicht, Mame, und welcher Welt ich bin. Oi, Mame, bin ich verliebt. Oi, Mame, bin ich verliebt. Ich war die ganze Welt herumgenommen und zugedrückt zu sich. Oi, Mame, bin ich verliebt. Right now, I'm going to sing to you my very, very favorite song that our beautiful pianist Neil Brostov has discovered. It is a very, very favorite song of mine that I have never ever known before. It's called Dyzio Marzyciel, Dyzio the Dreamer. And this is very, very favorite song of mine because Dyzio Marzyciel is a very, very favorite poem of my childhood by Julian Tuwim. I remember my mother was putting this little 45 records and the Dyzio Marzyciel was talked by some fantastic, beautiful Polish actors straight to my ear. And it is also my favorite song because it is talking about Dyzio who is dreaming that absolutely everything in the sky and the sky itself is turned into something sweet. And as you can see, I really have sweet tooth. Położył się Dyzio na łące, przygląda się niebu błękitnemu. I marzy. Jaka szkoda, że te obłoki płynące nie są z waniliowego kremu. różowe, że to nie lody malinowe. O te altyste, pierzaste, że to nie stosy ciastek i szkoda, że całe niebo nie jest z tortu czekoladowego. Jaki piękny byłby wtedy świat. Leżałbym sobie jak leżę na tej murawie świeżej. Wyciągnąłbym tylko rękę i jadła.
This nigun has a story. A few years ago, when I was living in Lublin, I shared my apartment with two friends, and one of them, Polish Catholic, he said that he had a dream one day. And in this dream, he lived in the Lubartowska Street, which is a part of the still existing part of the former Jewish district in Lublin that was completely destroyed by Germans during the war. And in this dream, he lived in an apartment, and suddenly an old Jewish man appeared in his dream and sang this nigun. And he remembered this nigun, and he taught me this nigun. And I believed this story for quite a long time. And quite recently, actually, a few weeks ago, we were watching at Rabbi Pinchas Giller, who is here, at his class, Kabbalah class, we were watching a movie, Yiddish movie, Dibuk. And this nigun is there in this movie. So I realized that's pretty funny, because it's kind of Dibuk nigun that like appears somewhere and no one knows why and where it is from. So I have one more nigun. This nigun is called Chernobyl nigun. It's actually I found it doing a research. In 2010, I went to Ukraine and to Kiev and to the Chernobyl area to look for melodies and nigunim from this area. And this nigun was created in probably 19th century, maybe the beginning. This was recorded by Moshe Beregovsky, I think so, in 20s last century, and it's from the village Havne, which is nearby Chernobyl. It's gonna be a little bit psychedelic and radioactive. The next song I'm gonna play, I wrote it 9 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, in 2009, I think so. In summer, visiting Stockholm at the Paideia Project Incubator program, and we had some, after finishing Jewish studies there, we had some classes also. And I found in Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, which is a late rabbinical literature, a poem that I translated into Polish. You have it in your brochures. The song is called Six Voices. And there's an English translation of it. I translated it first from Hebrew to Polish using English translation at the time, because my Hebrew was very little at that time. And I wrote the song. And I've been wondering, because the song speaks about, the poem speaks about all the great moments in our life in general, or metaphysical moments, and suddenly we have an impression that they don't matter at all. Doesn't make sense if the voice suddenly goes to the end of the world and comes back and it's not heard. So, and I've been wondering, what is this poem about? And quite recently I realized that it describes the reality of Mitzrayim, the reality of Egypt. So in the reality in which nothing makes sense, actually. Everything we do in vain. So that's a great metaphor of enslavement. It can be physical enslavement, but can be also mental enslavement. So our beliefs and our beliefs can become also our Egypt. So, but even though this song is very, I think the message is powerful and it's a very reflexive poem. 6 voices. Kiedy ścinają drzewo, które wydaje owoc, głos ten dobiega krańców świata. Głos ten dobiega krańców świata, lecz nieusłyszany powraca. W godzinie, w której wąż porzuca skórę swoją, głos ten dobiega krańców świata. Głos ten dobiega krańców świata, lecz nieusłyszany powraca. Kiedy mąż wraz z żoną na pierwszy szczyt wchodzą, głos ten dobiega krańców świata. Głos ten dobiega krańców świata, lecz nieusłyszany powraca. W godzinie, w której ona obdarza go potomkiem, głos ten dobiega krańców świata. Głos ten dobiega krańców świata, lecz nieusłyszany powraca. A gdy kamienie płaczą i tych twoje się rozstaje, głos ten dobiega krańców świata. Głos tych dobiega krańców świata, lecz nieusłyszany powraca. I kiedy dusza ciało opuszcza na zawsze, głos jej dobiega krańców świata. Głos jej dobiega krańców świata, lecz nieusłyszany powraca. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am cantorial soloist Andrew Henry. As Karen had said earlier, it is my true honor and privilege to serve the community of Beth Or. And it is an absolute delight that today I get to sing with my dear beloved wife, Rabbi Shana Chandler Leon, She's a marvelous rabbi. I can say that because she's not going to steal you away from your current congregation since she's in San Francisco most of the time. So I'm thrilled to get to do this. Do you want to introduce the first two?
Sure.
Excellent.
Thank you, sweetheart. So I come from a long line of cantors, so I'm told. None of them were women. And my grandmother, the youngest of 9, was born in a small shtetl. If there are any other kinds, I don't know, but a small town outside of Warsaw. As the youngest of 9, she had very few memories of being a little tiny one in Poland, but I like to think that that tradition lives very much in me and in my children, both of whom have been to Poland and borne witness to what happened there. My great-grandfather was most definitely a cantor, and depending on who's telling the story, he was either also a moil or a shochet. Either way, a shochet is a kosher butcher, so something with a knife. But apparently he had a beautiful voice, and these two pieces that we will start with today are Seder melodies. They were both new to me and Andy. And I like to think of my great-grandparents and their large family of children, all 9 of them, and perhaps guests and other relatives, sitting at the Seder table long ago, praying for the same things for which we pray today, that speedily in our time we should be saved. Adirhu.
Bimhera, bimhera, bimhera veyamenu. Bimhera, bimhera, bimhera veyamenu. Bimhera, bimhera, bimhera veyamenu. Bimhera, bimhera, bimhera veyamenu. El bnei, el bnei, el bnei, el bnei, bnei, bnei v'cha b'karov. El bnei, el bnei, el bnei.
Adirhu, 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 yivnei, 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 veitom bekarov. Adirhu, 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 yivnei, 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 veitom bekarov.
Bimhera, bimhera, bimhera veyamenu. Bimhera, bimhera, bimhera veyamenu. Bimhera, bimhera, bimhera veyamenu. Bimhera, bimhera, bimhera veyamenu. El bnei, el bnei, el bnei, bnei, bnei v'cha b'karov. El bnei, el bnei, el bnei, bnei, bnei v'cha b'karov. Bachur hu,
Bakur hu,
gadol hu, nagol hu. Yivnei, 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 yivnei v'cha b'karov. Bachur hu,
bakur hu,
gadol hu, nagol hu. Yivnei, 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 yivnei v'cha b'karov. Bimhera, bimhera, bimhera veyamenu. Bimhera, bimhera, bimhera veyamenu. Bimhera, bimhera, bimhera veyamenu. Bimhera, bimhera, bimhera veyamenu. El bnei, el bnei, el bnei, bnei, bnei v'cha b'karov. El bnei, el bnei, el bnei, bnei, bnei v'cha b'karov.
bekarov, el bnei, el bnei, el bnei, bnei bekarov. And this is a little medley arranged by Cantor Moshe Stern. You'll hear familiar words from your Seder table. If anything sounds familiar melodically, please jump in. But if you would join me in sending great positive energies to my very grown daughter, who for 21 years has said next year in Jerusalem, and this year is making that a reality. She will have Seder for the first time in Jerusalem next week. So though we're wishing we could be there with her, just sending amazing positive vibes for making that dream into a reality. Kilo Noe. לשם הממלכה. כי לא נועה, כי לא יועה, כי לא נועה, כי לא יועה, כי לא נועה, כי לא יועה, כי לא נועה, כי לא יועה. Zusammen am Mittag so sei ja bam ja bam ja bam ay 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 khlagan ya. Zusammen am Mittag so sei ja bam ja bam ay 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 khlagan ya. Zusammen am Mittag so sei ja bam ay 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 khlagan ya. Zusammen am Mittag so sei ja bam ay 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 khlagan ya. Zinche alle yidelech, zinche alle yidelech, dem nigen dem naim, leshana haba bi Yerushalayim, leshana haba bi Yerushalayim. Hoifti hoche bergen, karmel ha-hasezim, hoifti hoche bergen, karmel ha-hasezim. Wir feiern die Kinderlach, Yisrael am Kedoshim. Wir feiern die Kinderlach, Yisrael am Kedoshim. Leshana haba bi Yerushalayim, leshana haba bi Yerushalayim, leshana haba, leshana haba, leshana haba bi Yerushalayim, leshana haba, leshana haba, leshana haba bi Yerushalayim.
As I joked when we did this concert last night, I was raised on Monty Python, and now for something completely different. This is, in part, a song which we commissioned specifically for this event last year. We're doing an encore performance. It has a much longer history than that. As the Nazi armies raced across Europe, and the armies of the West and the East tried to keep them at bay, but for a long time failed. Regular people, people like you and me, doctors and lawyers and factory workers and everything in between, risked their lives and took up arms. They were resistance fighters. They hid in the woods, they hid in basements. They were known as the partisans. Now, the French partisans were honored with a song. And that song was popular, and it was translated into English, and for some strange reason in the 1950s it made the circuit of Jewish summer camps in Canada, where a young song leader named Leonard Cohen picked it up. And it is amazing to think that at one point Leonard Cohen was a young anything. But it's a song which has become near and dear to my heart, to our hearts. And it's a song whose message we felt was beyond just English and French, and so we commissioned Shayna's brother, who is a brilliant everything, to translate it into Yiddish. So here we go. This is the partisan in English and in Yiddish. I get the easy part. I get the English. When they poured across the border, I was cautioned to surrender. This I could not do. I took my gun and I vanished. I have changed my name so often. I've lost my wife and children, but I've many friends. Some of them with me. An old woman gave us shelter, kept us hidden in the garret. Then the soldiers came. She died without a whisper, without a whisper. There were 3 of us this morning. I'm the only one this evening, but I must go on. The frontiers are my prison. Oh, the wind is blowing. Through the trees, the wind is blowing. Freedom soon will come. And we'll come from the shadows.
Sie kommen mit den Waffen, sie nehmen meine Schomme, das geb ich nicht. Ich verschwind mit mein Bix. Verschiedene Namen hab ich, mein Freu und Kinder verloren, noch viel Gewerim hab ich. Und etliche von sie sind noch. Aber hat uns verbargt, behalt uns in den Beuden. Soldaten sind gekommen. Sie ist gestorben ohne Wort, ohne Wort. In der Fries ist gewesen am Minion, beim Abend bin ich der Letzte, aber ich muss bleiben leben. Die kalte Granit ist mein Turma. Oh, der Wind, der bloßt, durch Matzevis bloßt der Wind. Es kommt schon bald die Freiheit. Dann kommen wir von die
The wind is blowing. Through the graves, the wind is blowing. Freedom soon will come. And we'll come from the shadows. This next song has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with Poland, although I do like to believe that Peter, Paul, and Mary maybe ate Polish sausages at one point while practicing. So this is at least a Passover song. There is a man coming to Egypt, and Moses is his name. When he saw the grief upon us, in his heart there burned a flame. In his heart there burned a flame, oh Lord. In his heart there burned a flame. When he saw the grief upon us, in his heart there burned a flame. There is a man coming to Egypt, and his eyes are full of light, like the sun come up in Egypt. come to drive away the night. Come to drive away the night, oh Lord, come to drive away the night. Like the sun, come up in Egypt, come to drive away the night. There is a man coming to Egypt, he's come for you and me. And on his lips a word is singing, and that word is liberty. And the word is liberty, oh Lord, and the word is liberty. On his lips a word is singing, and the word is liberty. There is a man coming to Egypt to stir the souls of men. We will follow him to freedom, never wear those chains again. Never wear those chains again, oh Lord, never wear those chains again. We will follow him to freedom, never wear those chains again. You want to introduce this one? Okay.
Hans Zimmer has written many wonderful pieces and many movie scores. This is not among his pieces, despite what the program says. So we want to give credit where it is due. This is an indelible piece by the one and only Stephen Schwartz. From the movie Prince of Egypt, at the moment when the Israelites realize that freedom actually is at hand, they celebrate with this hymn, this song of glory. It is truly a prayer. When you believe, miracles can in fact happen. A message that calls to us throughout time, that reminds us never to give up.
Many nights we've prayed with no proof anyone could hear. In our hearts a hopeful song we barely understood. Now we are not afraid, although we know there's much to fear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will when you believe.
In this time of fear, when prayer so often proved in vain, hope seemed like the summer birds too swiftly flown away. And now I'm standing here with heart so full I can't explain, seeking faith and speaking words I never thought I'd say. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you
חסדך, עם זולת, אשירה, 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 אשירה לאדוני כי גאוגה, אשירה לאדוני כי גאוגה, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נעדר, בקודש נחית וחסדך, עם זולת, נחית וחסדך, עם זולת, אשירה, אשירה, אשירה. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? Somehow you will. Now you will. You will when you believe. When you believe. You will when you
While Novi is setting up, we're looking forward to her interpretation of the Tanzman music. It's appropriate to say that one of the treasures of Jewish life is yet to be discovered. The numerous poets and composers that were a part of Jewish life from the early times until the 20th century, and we're very pleased that that is part of the concerts that we've been doing, but it also is a significant part of our heritage. And Novi has been a concert-level musician, works as a studio musician, and as you heard earlier, we're very pleased that she is our member, a member of our congregation, and every year we have looked forward to her playing the Kol Nidre. Novi, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of these concerts.
next song I'm gonna play for you is called Margaritkelach. Originally, the song was written in Yiddish by Yiddish writer Zalman Schneur, and about 2 years ago, in summer 2017, I translated this song in Polish. It's a love song, and as I spoke earlier about reality in which nothing makes sense, kind of Mitzrayim reality, one of the ways to make our life meaningful is love, of course, but love makes our lives meaningful, especially if it is followed by adopting responsibility. So, but this song is only about love, not about responsibility. Stokrotki. Daleko za lasem rosną nad rzeczką stokrotki, małe, samotne, z białymi płatkami jak małe słoneczka, z białymi tra-la-la-la. Przechadza się Hawele cicho i sennie i warkocz rozwiany ma blond. Rozgląda się wokół i nuci piosenkę, piosenkę tra-la-la-la. Wtem nagle młodzieniec, co czarne ma włosy i oczy jak węgiel ma też, podchodzi do niej błysk wokół radosny, błysk wokół tra-la-la-la. Co szukasz, dziewczyno, co tutaj zgubiłaś? Co myślisz odnaleźć wśród traw? Ja szukam stokrotek, odrzekła z rumieńcem, tra-la-la-la. Wciąż szukasz, bo ja już na jedną trafiłem, piękniejszej nie zna ten świat. Stokrotkę z warkoczem o oczach z szafiru, tra-la-la-la. Pytałeś, co szukam? Ja już nie pamiętam. Szukałam, o tam strumyk jest. Tą wodą nie ugasisz swojego pragnienia beze mnie, tra-la-la-la. Nie będę nic piła, wiem, pójdę do cienia, bo upał straszliwy dziś jest. Moje włosy są czarne i chłodne jak ziemia, chłodniejsze, tra-la-la-la. Oj, zostaw mnie, chłopcze, bo mama się dowie i zła będzie, oj, bardzo zła. Gdzie mama, co mama, tu są tylko drzewa i ty i ja, tra-la-la-la. Ktoś patrzy, nikt nie patrzy. Ktoś słucha, nikt nie słucha. Te drzewa są głuche jak pień. Spokojnie, ja tylko dam ci całusa, tra-la-la-la. Czy lubisz mnie? Lubię. A wstydzisz się? Wstydzę. Och, lub mnie i wstydź się, ale szan. I wnet się splątują jej lśniące blond włosy z czarnymi, tra-la-la-la. I chłopak i słońce już za horyzontem, lecz Hawe wciąż siedzi wśród traw. Spogląda na niebo i nuci melodię, melodię, tra la la la. Spogląda na niebo i nuci melodię, melodię, tra la la la. Just a second, I need to adjust all the equipment. The last piece I'm going to play for you is a non-liturgical poem, Adonolam, but I'm going to sing it into the melody. I decided to sanctify one melody. So, and the pieces I made of two melodies. One is a kind of Middle Eastern melody I wrote a few weeks ago, and the second, the core part of the melody is a classical pop melody written in 80s in Poland by a composer, pianist Wacław Kisielewski, who tragically died in February '88. And I love this melody. I've been playing this for years, and I decided to sanctify this melody, as it was the case very often in history that rabbis pick up some melodies from the environment that were circulating. Often these were folk or pop melodies known by people, not necessarily Jewish melodies. So, Adonolam. Adonolam, Asher Malach, Beterem Kol Yetzir Nivra, Let Nasa, Vehefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Nora Vechuchaya Vechuchove ואין שני להמשיל לו להכבירה בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה אדון עולם, אשר מלך, בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא והפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, וכו אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי בצרה וכו ניסי ומנוסי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא בידו אפקיד רוחי והייתי שן והעירה ועם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא ידידדיידן ידידדן yada dee da dun day, 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 ay day, bye dee da day, ba da dee da dun day. I'm going to sing to you now the two songs, one by Dmitri Shostakovich and the other one by Zygmunt Białostocki. And both of those songs have one thing in common. Both of them are translations. Shostakovich Lullaby is translation from a Yiddish folk melody, Yiddish folk song into Russian. It's a very sad lullaby. And Białostocki's melody is translation from Polish into Yiddish. And the story of Rivka in Polish is a completely different story than the story of Rivka in Yiddish. The Rivka in Polish is completely and hopelessly in love with some very important person she saw once in her little shop. And she's dreaming that he comes back, and he did come back with his wife or fiancé in his beautiful car. So she fainted out of love, and he actually asked her how she was, and she was going to remember it for the end of her life, and she was hopelessly in love. So that was the Polish Rivkele. And the Rivkele in Yiddish was the Rivkele who actually decided not to accept a beautiful and pure love of the Poritz. I don't know if you know who Poritz is. Poritz is usually a Polish landlord who is the owner of the shtetl, and shtetl is usually on his ground, so this was the Poritz. So Poritz fell in love with poor Rivkele from the shop,
But Rivkele said, I'm very sorry, I love you, and our love is going to stay pure as it is, but I'm not going to risk the curse of my shtetl, and the despair of my parents, and let it just remain a dream.
Und seit schon dann flockt mit des Fruchten an unsere Gebeten sein meine ich schach dicht und Gold. Ich bin der Porüt von ganzen Städten, seh dein Kapzonisch Kledel, warte bis Malke mach ich dich. Ich will ganz von dir klein machen, sollst du mir sich an mir abschmatten in meine
Rifkele die Kleine, die in die Gescheine, is entläufen mit der Boy. Und an Stadt der Schululgarin, Kloister, Rivka ich nur sein. A Jammer, a Gefrei, a Geschrei, in Städtel auf Deus Weit, sein sehr Gräuel, der tote Mame weint, die Bruderschwester und euch, die ganze Haus. O mój wymarzony, o mój wytęskniony, nie wiesz nawet przecież ty, że w małym miasteczku za tobą ktoś wyplakał z oczu łzy. Das ist mein Bescherter, seine süße Wörter sollen bleiben heilig rein. Aber unser Liebe, unser heilige Liebe soll bloß erholen so.
It's now my pleasure just to say a few words of thank you. The person who put this concert together musically and has accompanied so many of our singers is Neil Brostoff, and we want to thank him. We want to thank the members of the congregation, the Unitarian congregation, especially John Bassinger Flores, who has been doing the sound for us. Thank you, John. We have a number of people who are part of our community. We're a small community, so everyone pitched in. The Nevinses, the Goodman, Hyman family, where are you? The Sherry Paul, everyone, Paulie, we appreciate very much their good spirit in bringing this concert to everyone. Also like to call attention to Tammy Singer, who has been doing so much of the behind-the-scenes work, making sure that flyers got out and that you're on the mailing list. We want to thank her for all of her good spirit in helping us with the concerts and many things. There she is over there. So we're about to celebrate the great day. Passover is just a few days away. And I hope that all of you will experience this mochin de gadlut, this idea of expanded consciousness that you're about to experience through the wonderful finale that we're about to share with you. Please join and welcome all of our performers, Andrew Henry, Rabbi Shana Leon, Menachem Mirsky, Anna Silverman. Thank you all.
Mostly, we'd like to thank all of you for pausing in your Passover preparations to come and prepare with us here, with your hearts, with your souls, and with your beautiful and kind attention. So we will finish with 4 melodies. They should also have words that you recognize. The first is B'tzeit Yisrael, from the psalm cycle we know as Hallel. Vehi She'amda. These are Polish melodies. Vehi She'amda, which appears in the Haggadah. The Chad Gadya, which you all know at least the refrain of. This is the song in Aramaic that speaks of the little kid that father bought for 2 zuzim, and all of the terrible and dramatic things that happen once that little kid is bought, in a cascading cycle of people that come to tame the item that was brought to tame the item that came before. And what we'll do with Chad Gadya, with this melody from Tarnopol, Poland, is to share the verses on it when we get there, and there will be a part for all of you. You'll see it flying by, and the good thing about Chad Gadya is there are so many verses, you have lots of opportunity to practice. So please join with us at Chad Gadya. And at the end, in the final verse, we say that the Holy One of Blessing came to do away with the angel of death. And we'll sing that verse together as we conclude our Chad Gadya, and then go into, at that point, what else but Dayenu.
B'tzeit Yisrael miMitzrayim, Bez Yaakov le'am la'aretz. Vayzo Yehuda, Yehuda lekodsho, Yisrael am shelo zor. B'tzeit Yisrael miMitzrayim, Bez Yaakov le'am la'aretz. Vayzo Yehuda, Yisrael am shelo zor. Ayorav, ayoros, ayadim lisav lechor. Ehorim roktohelim, kevos livnei tzor. Ayorav, ayoros, ayadim lisav lechor. Ehorim roktohelim, kevos livnei tzor. Oy malecha hayom kisonus, hayarden nisov le'ochor. Ehorim tifkatuchelim, kevos livnei tzor. Oy malecha hayom kisonus, hayarden nisov le'ochor. Ehorim tifkatuchelim, kevos livnei tzor.
table, a lovely song to remember as we go around the Seder table and take a verse, each person perhaps, but others see something deeper in it and see in this tale of the little kid the story of the Jewish people itself. At every turn of our path throughout history, there has been one or many who has risen up against us to say, this is as far as your story goes. And yet, we are still cleaning out the chametz. The children, we hope, are still practicing the firkashes in whatever language is right for them. Grown-ups are still fretting, I hope, joyously over a beautiful menu for next Friday and, God willing, Saturday night. We are still telling this story. Our race is not yet run. We have a long way, please God, to go. Ad Gadya.
Nasha gleshudra de achla legaria.